Hello everyone and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit, where turns out that both the victim and the perpetrator were horrible people, which is not super uncommon, but man, did they really end up screwing over a lot of nice people in the process. So, hopefully we can lock this down and get Gusto in jail and Tangaroa out of jail. That would be ideal. Although I still feel bad for Judy. Yeah, I guess I did. I would have let him live. Would you want someone holding something like that over your head? Besides, he's the one who drew first blood. Makes a solid case for self-defense, don't you think? So that was the impetus behind it all? It's not really self-defense in that case. Anyway, I initially took the lamp to Frost's room. Went straight there once I figured out how I was going to hide the bloody part. Inspired by all the ice sculpting tools lying about the place, I guess. You're not as dumb as you pretend to be. Yeah, figured I could use them to chip it off and grind it up. Once I was done, painting the stuff all over the harp was easy. But why Samson? Why did you have to frame him? Never meant for the cops to pin it on him. That was your fault, you and the rest of them. Why do you think I went to the trouble of placing the lamps and cloths back in Scone's room? Oh! That still makes you a piece of crap.
There's only one reason to plant the murder weapon in the room of another contestant, and that's to cast suspicion upon that person.
Of what? You tried to frame me, Gusty Pants.
Yeah.
But why? Why poor old me?
I respected Tangaroa. He was the best, a true champion. I would never have wanted him to take the fall. But you're a fraud. Your work wasn't even real. You had no respect for our craft at all. You deserve to be punished for what you did.
Oh, Gusty, how could you?
Had you refrained from eating Tangaroa's work, Frost's body wouldn't have been found. My plan was to wait until Tangaroa was judging your room. That's when I'd sneak the corpse into Frost's room and freeze it. But thanks to you, Bound here found it before I had a chance to retrieve it.
I don't understand. Why did you need to freeze his body at all?
Why, indeed.
Mr. Edgeworth, surely you must know. Why did Mr. Gusto need to freeze Mr. Frost's body?
Hide the true crime scene.
No, to obscure the time of death, right? To make it look like it happened at a different time than it did. Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Mr. Gusto needed to freeze Mr. Frost's body in order to obscure the time of death. If they determined that the murder occurred during the afternoon tea, he would have been an obvious suspect.
Yeah.
Bingo. Freezing Frost's body wasn't simple. Repairing everything took time. So I decided to put his body in the chest of Tangaroa's room while I got everything ready in Frost's. At the time, it seemed like the perfect hiding place. Never counted on some gluttonous pharmacist showing up and making the whole ship collapse.
I still don't get it though. Why disguise the body as an ice sculpture at all?
The sooner it was found, the smaller the effect of freezing it would have had on masking the time of death. Therefore, I needed to disguise it, at least until it fully frozen.
How awful. Using Mr. Frost's own work to help you cover up the truth behind his murder.
Ironically, Tangaroa would have been just fine if the body hadn't been found before I got it out of his room. If only things had gone to plan, he wouldn't even have been arrested, let alone convicted.
You mean it was my fault? Everything that happened to Samson? Oh. Man, they're doing a really good job of making me feel really bad for her. It was all because I found the body.
Yeah, don't let him get inside your head, Judes. None of this is your fault. If it wasn't Samson, it would have been Delicia instead. She would have been the one they arrested. Either way, there's only one person to blame here, and that's Gusto. It didn't help the initial detective was so bad at his job either. He never even told the prosecutor the body had vanished.
Yeah, that was by design, you big dummy.
So then, Mr. Von Kama had unwittingly placed Mr. Tangaroa under arrest in the absence of a body. I mean, I guess it would explain why he was so keen to wrap things up. And still, you'd think he'd notice something as big as that if they'd taken so long taken a look at a few reports, right? Notice someone had been deliberately distorting the facts of the case, though.
Either way, it seems that Mr. Von Karma didn't know about the body until after the arrest had been made. But admitting that would have spoiled his perfect record. So he kept it to himself and proceeded to prosecute Mr. Tangara regardless.
Can this really be true? You don't feel bad at all? Somebody spent 18 years in prison because of you.
Yeah, sticks and stones, girlie. Sticks and stones.
What a jerk. I'd arrest you right now, pal. I'm afraid I can't allow you to do that, detective.
So you notice, huh? Glad somebody did. The judge is right. You can't lay a finger on me.
What? Why? You just confessed to murder.
No idea how, then I guess I'd better lay it out for you.
Nope. I know what it is. Why you can't arrest me. Because the statute of limitations expired 3 years ago.
I killed Frost 18 years ago. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years. You do the math. You can't arrest me. Think I'd have confessed otherwise?
That's right. The statute of limitations is only 15 years. Is this really the end of the line, Mr. Edgeworth?
Once the statute has expired, you can't be charged, so...
But... Unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm afraid that both Mr. Gusto's confession and your deductions will have to be struck from the record. That Mr. Tangaro's conviction will remain in place.
But we've finally proven that the police never had Mr. Frost's body in their possession. Even if we can't arrest Mr. Gusto, surely Mr. Tangarora has grounds for a retrial on that basis.
Does he? I wouldn't be so sure. I'm afraid that the goddess's judgments are somewhat harder to overturn than you might imagine.
So the committee means for the verdict from 18 years ago to stand no matter what? Bad luck, Mr. Prosecutor.
There must be something we can do, something that can bring Mr. Gusto down.
Hold it!
I don't know why I pressed that.
The passage of time doesn't diminish what you did, Mr. Gusto.
Sure diminishes one thing, though. Your ability to arrest me.
Oh, we can arrest you. We can arrest you real good. I could have you in cuffs before you even blink, pal. Right, Mr. Edgeworth?
This issue isn't as open and shut as you're making it out to be, Detective.
You can't touch me, it's too late for that.
Hold it!
Depending on your actions over the last 18 years, the statute may not have expired yet.
This ought to be good. Alright, I got nothing to hide. There's something you want to ask it.
Very well, tell us where you've been and what you've been doing since the incident.
Sure. Not long after the contest, I was able to cure my taste disorder thanks to the formula from that book. Not so long after that, I went to Jingfa to really buckle down and hone my craft. That explains a lot. We tried to contact you after the fact, but I guess you were long gone by then, huh? Could be. I left, let's see, around a year after the murder, before Tangarora's last day in court. Going to Jingfa was the best thing I ever did. Flavor design, I'm the full package now.
Objection!
Wait.
And all on the backs of those whose lives you destroyed.
What's an omelet without a few eggs? Nothing, Mr. Prosecutor, nothing.
You're evil!
Sticks and stones, girlie. Can't arrest me, and that's all that matters. I need more to work with. There has to be something I can get out of him. Maybe I can push him further on the statements he just made. Is there anything I should follow up on? Held in court.
His training in Jingfa. Because there was, hold on. Statute of the Limitations book. The statute is suspended should the suspects leave to a foreign country. Ha! Indictment to the end of their trial. Yeah, that's plenty of time.
I'd like to tell us more about your training in Jingfa if you wouldn't mind.
Fine. I went to Jingfa to train and I found I became the best in the world.
Yep, hold on. I actually want to just go ahead and take a look at this old book you screwed up.
The statute's limitations for murder is subject to the following condition. The statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country, which means that the time he spent abroad doesn't count toward the total time under the statute.
Uh-oh. No way, so it's like someone hit pause while he was in Jingfa? It appears that there may be time left on the clock yet, but that would depend on how long you stayed in Jingfa, Mr. Gusto.
It was, 3 years exactly. 3 years? Hold on. Nobody say anything until I've done the math. The murder happened 18 years back. The statute is 15 years. 3 overseas.
15 plus 3 makes exactly 18, which means, no way, Mr. Edgeworth, you did it! The statute hasn't expired after all.
Yeah. Bingo. 18 years exactly. Glad you worked it out for yourselves.
He's just been stringing us along this whole time. Well, why is he laughing? We're good, aren't we? We can arrest him now?
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, little sis, but IS-7 went down at the end of December. It's April now, which means, strictly speaking, it's been 18 years and 4 months since Frost's murder. If Gusto stayed in Jingfa, it really lasted 3 years on the nose, it's not enough. We're a few months short.
Not enough, but...
What did I tell you? You can't touch me.
I hate to admit it, but he read the board well when he made his confession. How unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth. If only the statute had been suspended for another year. To overturn the goddess's judgment must be willing to pay the price should they fail.
Wait, hold on!
Because there's another thing. The statute is suspended from the time any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. The trial went on for a year, right? And you, Mr. Edgeworth, have failed.
No!
There must be something I can do. I knew it. Well, if the law can't bring Mr. Gusto to justice, then...
Jules, what are you thinking?
Don't. Stop.
Objection!
There's no need to go adding to your rap sheet just yet. We're not done here, far from it, because there's still a way we can nail him.
There is.
Alright, Mouserino, pep talk. I need you to think back over everything we know about the case. Gusto's overlooked one critical thing that you yourself were led to believe wrongly about.
Which is?
He wasn't there for Samson's last trial, remember? Best I can tell, he doesn't seem to know what the final verdict that came down that day is. Which means there's still one way left to us. Crack open your statues for dummies there and take another look. I already did it! 17 years ago, they really did a number on Samson and framed him like a pretty picture. If we make good use of that verdict now, we can make Gusto pay in full for what he's done.
Offender, are you?
Those who would overturn the goddess's judgment must be willing to pay the price should they fail. Samson's my client, Miles, and I can't bring myself to use the source of his pain as a weapon in this fight. So do we play our last card or not? It's gonna have to be up to you.
Oh, that's horrible! Oh, so that would uphold his verdict as an accomplice. Bringing Mr. Gusto to justice can only happen if I use the outcome of that hard-fought trial. So, should I raise an objection and play that card or not? Oh! That's awful! Well, Tangarora's verdict isn't getting overturned either way. So we can at least use that accomplice verdict to take down Gusto. This sucks. Wow. Dang, have they done a good job with this so far? My father, Mr. Von Karma, one sought to reveal the truth, the other to hide it. I know which path I choose to follow, the one that seeks to reveal the truth. This court has reached its final verdict. The record will state that Mr. Gusto has been found not guilty on all counts.
No, Your Honor, Mr. Carmelo Augustus is absolutely guilty, and I refuse to let him walk away. His crimes are too unspeakable to go unpunished.
I suggest that you have grounds upon which to call for his arrest.
I do.
Show Judge Gavel something that proves the statute of limitations hasn't expired yet. Was it this? Convicted as an accomplice, yeah. Damn. Well, is there a particular passage of this I-7 file you'd like us to refer to? There was a suspect data, right? Suspect data, yeah.
I'd like to direct your attention to the page concerning the suspect. As you can see, Samson Tangaroa was convicted as an accomplice. Took around 1 year from his indictment for the verdict to be reached.
Yes, that does seem to be the case.
The bookie gave us details certain conditions pertaining to the statute of limitations for murder. One of them, as I mentioned, is that the statute is suspended if the suspect flees the country. And another states that the statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial.
What? Tangaroa was convicted as an accomplice? Yep, guess you're in Jingfa when the verdict came down. Samson was convicted as an accomplice, not as the main perpetrator. Yeah, which is clearly news to you, and not good news either, am I right? but how can that be? Tangaroa was an accomplice to anyone. He was innocent, and you know it.
No, we know it. It's what we've been trying to prove all along. And in a pleasing twist of fate, his wrongful conviction will be the very thing that sets him free. If you spent 3 years in Jingfa, and your accomplice, Samson Tangaroa, was on trial for 1 year, it means you can still be charged with Mr. Frost's murder up to 19 years after the fact. In other words, the statute of limitations hasn't expired at all.
This judgment is infallible, except this whole thing is predicated upon the goddess of justice failing. Good, alright. But it appears that that of her servants, it appears is not. It seems the prosecutors in charge of this case may have erred. May have erred. Unbelievably, we may have no choice but to instigate a full inquiry.
How could this? You were supposed to be able to. 18 years, that's a long time to let somebody else suffer for your crimes. It's time to pay the piper, Gusto, and not a moment too soon.
But I'm finally the greatest. My brilliance has been recognized. Give up everything for this. Everything, even my son.
More's the pity, but you can't run from the law forever, because the bills come due at last.
Oh, he made himself. That's... Oh, did he just... Yep. Alright, yeah, that's about right. Mr. Gusto's all set up for a trip downtown, sir. Alright, good. Which means it's your turn next, right? I suppose so. Oh.
Dudes.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I've caused you all so much trouble. But thank you. Thank you so much for bringing Mr. Gusto to justice at last.
I'm afraid there's no escaping the consequences of your actions, Miss Bound. But those actions were born of the legal mistakes that were made all those years ago. We all know that. So allow me to apologize in return, on behalf of the prosecution.
Oh, no. I have no one to blame but myself for it all. Starting with those sculptures.
Hey, Judes, you think maybe you might want me to represent you? I'm not some nervous newbie anymore, and there's no way I'm letting you take the rap for everything.
Oh, I'd be honored. Thank you, Mr. Fender. I mean, can we be the prosecutor and, like, maybe get some leniency? Sorry, ma'am, but you gotta come with me now. Of course.
Dang.
Judge Gavel, why did you lie to us?
Why? What are you talking about?
You implied that there was no case for a retrial, but as we've proven, that wasn't true. Surely anyone truly committed to seeing justice done would have called one as soon as the body was found.
am under no obligation to answer such questions. You clearly have no intention of doing so either. Really, you're proven to be quite a threat to the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. As such, you give me little choice but to report back on your continued transgressions. No doubt you'll be called to appear before the committee in due course. Now, I must be on my way. I really want to know what her deal is. What the heck? And after you caught the real killer and everything, isn't that what prosecutors are supposed to do?
Regardless of how it all may play out, I will never regret what we accomplished here today.
Mr. Edgeworth? Hey, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes.
Why'd you stick your nose in this case anyway? You weren't even on the job.
My job is to bring the truth to light, Mr. Winner. And not only as a prosecutor, but as a person.
I don't get it.
I wouldn't expect you to understand. Not as long as you believe that closing a case makes you a winner.
That's going way over my head. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I'm going home. What is that all about?
You still have a lot to learn is all.
Wildly.
Yes.
I just wanted to say, oh, Greg, your peg leg would have been proud of you today. Oh, look at me tearing up. Thanks for helping poor Sammy Poople.
Of course.
Hey, Edgy, looks like you cleared everything up, huh? So, what happened exactly? I was kind of busy sketching. Wait, where did Judy and Verity go? Wow, you really weren't paying attention, were you? I'm loath to admit it, Larry's sketches did come through for us on more than one occasion. Not that I'm about to tell him that. Put it with the glare, will you? Whatever I did, I'm sorry.
Calm down, Larry. I wasn't glaring at you.
You totally were. You're just like your pop. He was a terrible liar, too.
He was.
Listen, I'm gonna head out. I need to fill Samson in on what went down today. You wanna come with?
Yes, of course.
Great, then I'm coming too. Alright, at least we get this, I guess. Does Mr. Tangora like? I can't wait to finally meet him. No, he's a real sweetheart. You'll love him. And even while locked up, he can't help but make all sorts of cookies and cakes for everyone. That's why 3 p.m. cake extravaganza is a thing for prisoners and guards alike. Really? That sounds awesome. You think there'll be any left for us to try? Didn't we find a few slices of chocolate cake in the prison the other day? They had been some of Mr. Tangora's baked goods. Gummy, what are you doing here? I heard you're all coming to see Mr. Tangora, so I volunteered to escort him.
Hello, new friends.
I'm Simpson Tangora.
Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth at your service.
And I'm Mr. Edgeworth's trusty sidekick, K.A. Faraday.
It's very nice to meet you both.
Yeah, Miles here is Gregory's son.
Is that so? Your father was very kind to me and fought so hard for my case. In the end, I betrayed him. I made a false confession and... don't worry, Mr. Tangora. Mr. Fender's explained everything to me.
Yeah, sure did. Now we're here to tell you the truth about what happened 18 years ago.
The truth?
Oh.
Judy did all that for me?
Crazy kid racked her brain for 18 years until she'd finally figured out how to set you free. What can I say? It turns out she really would do anything for you.
Oh, Judy, I never did anything to deserve such devotion. Oh, come now, Mr. Tangora. I think we all know that's not true. The bond between the two of you has held strong for all these years, after all. You think so?
I guess I'd better show him. Which piece of evidence is proof of the bond between Mr. Tangora and Miss Boundshare? Oh.
Take that! Those chocolates. Judy made them, didn't she? Yes, she did.
They're super delicious and sweet.
Miss Bound continued making them just as you taught her, even after that fateful day. So there would always be some waiting for you when you finally came home. Judy! I bet they're beyond super sweet then, aren't they? Very much so, I'm afraid. I only wish I could hand them to you.
Don't worry, sir. I'll make sure he gets them later. It should be a clear breach of prison policy. Not that I have the authority now to stop him anyway.
Thank you very much. You know, Detective, something about you reminds me of Detective Bad.
Really, pal? Because I look up to him a lot. He's my role model.
You don't say. Seems fate likes to bring people of all sorts together, huh?
You hang in there, Samson, just a little longer. I should be able to get you out soon. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Nobody should have to wait 18 years to get justice.
Oh, don't be silly, Eddie. I'm the one who should be saying sorry. Or rather, thank you. Truly.
Samson.
Well, I guess it's my turn to wait for Judy to come home now. I better make sure there's something delicious on the table for her when she finally walks through that door. But don't let me down, Eddie.
Leave it to me, big guy.
I mean, it was only attempted murder. It's probably not so bad. The IS-7 incident, it's been 18 long years, but this case we'd inherited from my father is finally coming to a close.
Hey, Miles, thanks for today. And sorry for forcing you to make the final call like that.
Not at all. I simply made the call that felt right to me.
Huh? What are you guys talking about?
You know Samson was wrongfully convicted. We had to pretend that he wasn't in order to nail Gusto. But to use his false conviction against him, even to save him. As his lawyer, I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah, I can see that.
But now that Gusto's behind bars, I can finally start to get that wrongful conviction overturned.
Yes, and I'm sure you will.
Wait a minute, does this mean that even if you were only doing what's right, if the false conviction had been overturned before today, Mr. Gusto would have gotten away scot-free?
Yep. So we folks in the trade like to call a legal contradiction. The law is far from perfect.
Because of things like legal contradictions, right?
Yeah, but you never know. Things might change. Law's always evolving, just like us humans. Your Uncle Eddie and Miles Reno included, am I right?
Potential for growth and change in people and the law, huh?
Yeah, so Miles, are you gonna keep fighting crime as a prosecutor or help people as an attorney? Tells me you got a big decision ahead of you, one only you can answer.
No, I know.
Well, let's just say I won't complain if you show up at the office one day. And on that note, it's time for me to skedaddle. I owe you big time, and I always repay debts, but for now... Thanks again for today. I mean it.
He seemed kind of in a hurry to get out of here to you.
He did.
And honestly speaking, I'm the one who owes him a debt of gratitude. After all, he gave me the chance to reckon with my father's final case. When I was a boy, all I ever dreamed of was becoming an attorney like my father. But then, during my time with Mr. Von Karma, I went the way of the prosecutor instead. Eventually, with the help of some good friends, I found my own voice and a new way to live. But now my career as a prosecutor is at risk of being taken away from me. Yeah, it may be time to take another long, hard look. It may be time to take another long, hard look at how I want to live my life, whether I like it or not. Alright. I assumed the case was going to end. We're running a little long. I'm going to call it here. We'll see what happens in the next episode. Dang, that was a really good case. Like, really, really good. Probably my favorite in the game so far. And potentially my favorite in the investigation series so far. So we'll see if that holds up. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.